Crypto market a little bit flat today. Not a lot going on. We do see XRP up about 2.6%, up to 45 cents. Yay for that. But outside of that, not much going on. Most things are flat, up 1%, down 1%. We'll have to see where we go from here. I'm totally biased. This whole time I've been kind of aiming for Q4 this year for this market really to get its legs and for the broader crypto space to turn bullish and show a lot of growth here. But I could be wrong. Look, we've seen Bitcoin pass all-time high, Ethereum performing well. We've seen some great performers in Solana and Near, and there's a lot of good stuff going on out there. But that's been my working hypothesis. That, you know what? Yeah, we're seeing some growth out there, but that's a lot to do with these historic ETF launches. And eventually we're going to, come back down to earth. Things will cool off a bit, and we'll still have a little bit of cooking here before we go on a significant crypto wide bull run. We'll see if that plays out or not, just the way I see it. Today in the stock market, we're seeing a little bit of fear out there. What are some of the things on people's minds? Well, the presidential election, for one, there's some uncertainty there. We are certain who the Republican candidate is. Most people I know that know politics, and that's not me, they tell me Biden's the guy, and he's going to run this thing to the very end. It's my opinion. I'd be very surprised if he makes it through this weekend, and specifically through next week. I don't believe that's going to happen. Most people tell me it is. We'll see it play out. But there's some uncertainty there. We don't even know who the Democrat candidate is going to be. And I think we might not find that out for a bit either. So that'll be interesting to see play out. We have the end of this tightening cycle. That we know is coming to an end. They will start bringing those rates back down. Where are we, though, when they do that? Did they go a little bit too far? Is that going to be coupled with companies starting to lay people off and, some hardship out there? Or did they land the perfect soft landing? Only time will tell. We will see. Our valuation is a little bit too high, and what will people do? Some of those, top end, stocks. People start pulling some profits. Are they gonna, wheel that back into some of the lower market cap options, or are they gonna take their ball and go home for a bit? As we go through number 4, the summer doldrums. I've been droning on about this. We'll see if it plays out. It's not a guarantee, but a lot of times this is kind of a downturn for both crypto and financial markets, and we may see a lot of sideways trading as we kind of trend down a bit for a while. We'll see it play out. But all this stuff is just market-wide. If it happens, it doesn't mean anything about your specific asset. It's just kind of the financial conditions we find ourselves in. Use those as opportunities to pick up value. Crypto that will perform once this space really heats up. You've been through bull markets. You know what that ultimately means. Yeah, we've had a pretty good run here with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other ones. But it's going to be crazy town again, really crypto-wide. When I look at XRP specifically, there's 3 things I'm looking for. Number 1, I want to have Ripple have a lot of success with the stablecoin launch. Now, I'm not talking about overtaking Tether, anything wild. Just have a successful launch. Get some liquidity listings on some various exchanges so you can get into the stablecoin and out of it easily. And I think if they do that, you're going to see that stablecoin used for a lot of reasons. In the real world, actually doing real world transactions. It's fast, it's cheap, all of that jazz. And I think it'll also bleed over into on-chain things. And that's number 2. We need on-chain liquidity to grow. We want to see those AMM pools grow in a big way. We want to see a lot of trading. And I think a stablecoin will help facilitate that. And lastly, I want to see some success from independent developers. Someone to launch an app, have a successful coin. As Crazy Town, returns, people usually go off your top coins and are looking for, some of those out there opportunities. They do it on BNB, they do it on Ethereum and Cardano and Polkadot, where they're looking at all the upcoming coins. And we want some of that happening on the XRP ledger. And I think there's some hope we could see more of that action this time around. AMM pools will help facilitate that too. So I think if we see those 3 things happen, we're going to be looking really good. And I do expect all 3 of those to happen in a significant way. We have Brad Garlinghouse today criticizing the U.S. SEC chairman, Gary Gensler, of course. And this is important because they're meeting with, of course, people on the Republican side, Democrat side, trying to make sure they position themselves well. And you're going to have to, at some point, work with both sides. And I think you want to make it clear that this is not a workable way forward. What they've done for the last however many years here, 4 years, this attack on crypto, this assault on crypto, this lawsuit versus Ripple, this isn't going to work. And if you do this, you're going to get punished. You're going to get punished politically. The money's not going to flow to you. You better have, sensible policy here. And you want to incentivize both sides to work with you, and you let that money flow, and usually you get your way. So I think this is good. They continue to push to point out, look, what you've been doing ain't going to work. And I think it'll let both sides cater to your needs much better. Brad Garlinghouse saying first step towards institutional crypto products is to have a trusted benchmark reference rate. He's talking about CME Group. They have new rates for both ICP and XRP. So if we're going to have real trading, we have to have reliable pricing. And that's what this brings to the table. Some people wondering, is this what's going to clear the way for an XRP ETF? Well, to some extent, yes. But, I wouldn't get too excited. AVAX had this done, as Minus Wells told me some time back. It's had it for a while. But I think it shows they're really looking to integrate not just Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the rest of the altcoin market. And they're starting to, put these price indices out for more altcoins. And they're working towards that eventual goal. We'll see a lot more products out there over the long run. It's only a matter of time. You're going to get your XRP ETFs and your Solana ETFs and your AVAX ETFs. And you're going to have bundled products. And it's going to be amazing. And that day's coming. And this is one step towards that. I wouldn't get out of hand with this news that it's an XRP ETF is imminent. I don't think that's going to happen, but our day's coming, and this is part of that work towards that. Interesting, by OpenAI. They had some sort of meeting today where they put AI growth into 5 levels. And where they say they are quickly approaching is really human-level problem solving. AI that can reason as well as a doctorate, someone with very high degree. So we're talking about just not your regular Yahoo, but a very sophisticated individual that's very knowledgeable about various topics. And they're just approaching that human level reasoning. Level 3, agents, systems that can take action on their own. Number 4, innovators, AI that can aid in innovation. Really come up with novel and new ideas, new solutions. And lastly, number 5, AI that can function like a full organization. AI that can accomplish the task of a company that has many different employees and segments and things like that. That's kind of that final level, and I think they can get there. I don't know how long that takes, but you can imagine someone having the power of a whole company at their fingertips with just artificial intelligence. This world's going to get weird and get weird in a hurry. Lastly, we're having this discussion on Twitter with my buddy here, Hodl Maxi. And I agree with him. The SEC really hurt us in a big way. And we've went over this a million times. I've talked about what XRP would have done last run. But where we find ourselves today isn't just that SEC lawsuit. It's also our own failures. When I say our own failures, XRP community-wide. You may not, build the systems of the future, make the decisions, but we're all part of this. And we made some wrong decisions where everyone else, and I mean everyone else in the world, went the DeFi route. We swore to the high heavens that micropayments were going to be the next wave of adoption for cryptocurrency, and it made so much sense. Look, it's not just David Schwartz that said, this DeFi stuff, that's iffy. It's all about micropayments. I was saying the same thing. Made a lot of sense. I drank the Kool-Aid. I was right there with everyone else, but it didn't play out like that. And not because micropayments aren't important, that they won't be valuable in the future, but there was no app to pair those with that people had to use or did use in any sort of meaningful way. Why other systems had lending and borrowing and all of these various systems that caught fire, well, we had coil blocks. You know how that turned out. No one wanted these god-awful blocks. So, I think we have to correct that problem. And that goes back partially to this. We need on-chain liquidity, AMM pools, DeFi's on the horizon for the XRP ledger. We're playing catch-up, but I think we'll get there because the XRP ledger is so novel and powerful for a lot of things. It's going to be very efficient. I think, we can have really capable DeFi on this blockchain, but we got to get that done. So yes, a lot of this is where the SEC put us, but some of this is a nightmare of our own making. Again, not building those systems that people would actually use. All of that stuff got shut down. It went out of business. It went away. And it just wasn't successful. And so that's not on anyone else's shoulders. That's not on the SEC's shoulders. That's a failure of XRP builders, of XRP community members like myself that said, yeah, this is great, this is the way to go. We were wrong. That was not the next wave of adoption. I'm sure the day will come when it is, when people come up with really fantastic apps for micropayments. But that wasn't the next part of growth within this space. It was DeFi. And they're writing that wrong. And they're coming out with a lot of innovation. They're trying to make the XRP ledger usable. And I think they're doing exactly that. And I think we're going to see success. But just remember that. We're not all just the bad luck bears. It's not all on the SEC and that lawsuit. Some of it is the choices that were made along the way that put us here. And that's the stuff we can fix. We can't go back in time and make the SEC not sue us. We can't fix any of that other stuff, but we can look at this ecosystem from a practical manner and say, heck, tons of people are using Ethereum, and it's, as we know, slower, it's expensive, it doesn't have all the attributes we have. And we can yell all day long that XRP is cheap and it's fast, but is anyone using it? We have to make sure that they are. And I think that's the thing to focus on right now. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. Revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.